Well, here we are, week 3 of this process of working towards retiring my parents from our business. It is Friday at time of this recording, and I don't know if you've ever had weeks like this, but it's a week where it went very well. And there's so many great things that have happened, progress being made, and then you kind of run into a point where you just are fighting fires, things that pop up and you end up being reactive no matter how many things we can put in place to just focus on being proactive and the things that we can control. And then just like that, everything kind of falls apart. Okay. Bit of an exaggeration. But that's how I feel in the moment is sitting down to record this. There are things that just kind of have popped up that are frustrating more than anything else. All solvable, all things that are just part of this progress that we've been making as a firm. And sometimes all that's required is to take a breath, deep breath, and go, it's going to be okay. Solve the thing in front of us. Focus on what is next. So, with that a little bit off my chest, I'm excited to dig in, share with you a little bit about this last week. And to do so, I've actually got some reflection, some different pieces from this last week that I want to share with you. And we're going to hit those right now.
Hey, it is Monday morning, and I just want to give a quick update because I am just about to head into the office, and we are starting the first day for our new team member. His name is William. Excited to have him joining the team. We're going to be working on really the sales function within the business, and he is team member number 8 on our team right now. So when I break out kind of everything in my other videos on what's the maybe ideal way to build out a successful action coach franchise. This has kind of been our path, so I'll share this, but super excited, jumping in. Going to be starting the day with some basic setups. So I'll try to record some of the basic things that we'll do for setup with a new team member, access to different training modules, the types of things that he's going to be going through for the first week, and just document some of that stuff so that y'all can follow along as we go through this. So super excited. Always fun to kind of be able to grow the team and bring amazing people onto it. So that's what we're doing today. It is Monday, and we're going to go onboard a brand new team member. Catch you in a bit. Whew. All right. So I promise to continue to share as much as I possibly can throughout the week. So we are in the car. We are about to jump into a speaking gig that I am presenting at today. The Business Leader Series here in Round Rock. I'm going to be sharing with a group of entrepreneurs the process for building your 2026 game plan. So we're going to go through things like how to reflect from this past year and look for things that we can revise and learn from the previous year, and then start to ultimately reverse engineer our plan from profitability all the way back through the activity that's going to allow us to accomplish the goals and some of the things that we need to be doing throughout the year in order to make that possible. So these are the things that we implement in our business, not just with our clients, but as we continue to grow, as I continue to grow in some of the businesses that I run. This process of reverse engineering and the process of uh, reviewing our plan consistently and revising it. So every month going in and actually revising based on actual evidence, actual data from the previous month and the previous quarter. So this is ultimately what I will be sharing at the Business Leader Series today. I'm super excited to jump in and do it. And I've got some free gifts that I'm going to give away to the crowd today. So we're excited to see how that goes. Outside of that, I know I shared it a little bit in, I think, a previous video, but the first onboarding day for our new team member, William, went fantastically yesterday. And probably one of the biggest lessons, one of the biggest things from really learning this hire. So this is team member number 8 for our business, which means it's 5th hire or so of our current team. So we've obviously gone through more hires than that over the past several years. But this was the first time that I felt unburdened. I felt as if it wasn't a huge burden on my time to be bringing somebody onto the team, which is an absolute major unlock if you're going to start growing a team, start building a team. And a big piece of that, and I know I've referenced this earlier in a video, But a big piece of this is hiring and having a really good assistant on your team. So I've got Taylor, who is my executive assistant. She's been with us for 3 years, maybe just over 3 years now. And she has just grown her way through understanding the different things within the business. And as a result of that, I've been able to kind of offload and have her do a lot more of the onboarding, help a lot when it comes to recruiting team members. And this yesterday was a testament to true understanding of what it can feel like and be like when you've got that team support. Like, I'm sitting here going, guys, I can go and hire more people now. I know that the time unlock for me is there. The systems, the training is there. So now we can start to kind of ramp this up, so long as we have the rest of the things fall into place within the business as we plan to, expect to. So this is a really good foundation. This is a really good piece for all of the things that we've been working towards, with being able to hire the team that can ultimately allow us to step out of the business, allow my parents to step out of the business so I can retire them by the end of 2026. All of these things are falling into place, but this is an absolute win, and I just wanted to share that with you here today. So with that, come with me. We're going to hop in here to Centro Event Space and do some speaking. So let's go. Here we go. All right, so another quick update. I am going through a couple different meetings today, and one of the coolest things that I've been playing around with is the note tool called Granola.ai. So I know there's a ton of really good AI note-taking tools out there. I know that Zoom technically takes its own AI summaries, all of that sort of thing. But this one tool I can use on my iPad, I can use on my computer, I can use on my phone. So it allows me to take notes either in Zoom meetings or Google Meets or team meetings, or just in a conference room and setting up my phone. So I can take notes on each one of those types of things, which has been really cool. And it's unlike like Fireflies or Fathom or different things like that. You don't have to admit this thing into like the actual meeting room in like Zoom or something else like that. But transcribes both sides, allows you to take notes like on your computer while you're right in that platform as you're going through a Zoom meeting, things like that. But what I found is really cool is not only does it sync to all of my devices, so this is kind of what it looks like. I've been testing it for a couple meetings here. So I'll go into like this marketing team training that we were doing today, see all the different notes and things like that. But there's these cool little things where I can actually chat with my notes. I can chat with the note that I just took, and I can chat with the entire interface. So one thing I just tested was, well, what happens if I type into the chat, what are my action items for the week? So it's going to search all of my meetings, and then it's going to give me just a list of my action items and what the due dates were based on what we talked about in the meeting. Like, that is awesome. So as I continue to look at what are some different ways to implement some technology that allows us to be a little more effective within the business, that's definitely a bit of an unlock that has been pretty cool. I've been testing out a few different ones so far. This has been my favorite. In other news, I had shared with you this morning that I was walking into the Business Leader Series and presenting for the Round Rock Chamber and their Business Leader Series, or what actually was the last Business Leader Series. They're actually rebranding and changing it next year. But boy, was that a lot of fun. Probably had about 40 in the room or so, and was able to provide some value, things like that, over the course of about an hour. So just once again, Round Rock Chamber, huge shout out for allowing us to come in and provide some value to the group, but lots of fun, things like that. So we'll throw kind of some B-roll and things like that into this video so you can see what that looked like in real life. So that was kind of cool. Rest of the day today, I've got some coaching that I'll be doing, and working on some presentations for our conference that's coming up at the start of December. Looks like we're going to do some AI presentations. So my goal is to use AI to build the presentations, and then be able to deploy that in a way that we can showcase how all of these things work together. So right now I'm in the ideation phase. And what I do for the ideation phase is I've kind of got the general idea or direction I want to take with the presentation, and I type it into ChatGPT, tends to be my go-to large language model, and just say, hey, this is what I'm looking at doing. Here's the different things. And then let's just talk back and forth. And sometimes I'll use the voice chat for it. Sometimes I'll just literally type back and forth. But I will just ideate. What are some things that resonate? What are some things that work? How can we think about this differently? What should that outline be, until we can get to a pretty good outline, and then we'll start to kind of fill in the gaps and everything from there. So just a quick little insight on how I go through these types of things. Once I get the presentation, maybe I'll share it with you all too, so you can kind of see it. But little ways of just using some basic AI tools to be a little bit more productive within the business as we continue to build out things like that. So
as you saw, this week was heavy in onboarding our new team members. So in the last couple of videos, I talked about how a big piece of what we're focusing on now is solving for kind of this sales portion of building our business. And so excited to actually have had our team member come on board this week. And as I iterated in some of those previous clips, having somebody on your team that can help with the onboarding, that can help with the administrative side of onboarding and bringing on new team members is a major unlock. So huge shout out to Taylor here on our team for all of the work that she continues to do. It's really allowing us to continue to build in the right direction. So onboarding a team member has been the biggest focus for this last week, starting with the training, focusing on the systems of it, finding out what are the things that might be missing. So as we bring on a new team member, specifically, as we are in this case, bringing on somebody that we haven't brought on before, a role that we haven't specifically brought on in the past, it's a forcing function to say, well, now we got to go build the training systems. Now we got to make sure that all of this stuff is ready to go. And it's going to expose some gaps along the way. Now, this is a good thing. I know it can be painful. It is for us as we go through, and I'm sitting here going, shoot, I don't have that thing ready to go, or I completely forgot about this or that. But it exposes these pieces that allows me then to go in and say, this is something that we can solve. This is the thing that we need to plug in for the next couple times that we're going to go through a hire and things like that. So there were a few of those moments this week, specifically within the training segment, and realizing that there might be a knowledge gap in this one piece, or this video does really good at explaining this part and the how of starting to train somebody in this way, but it opens the gap for this other thing, and we kind of just jump right over it and forget that we still have to teach this middle step. So it highlighted a few of those things, allows us to kind of map out what do we need to do this next week. So for us, with my dad being probably one of the top people in our business historically for sales. So he's kind of the sales guy. He's got a lot of knowledge in his head that we need to be able to extract and pull out. So we're scheduling some time for next week. We're going to sit down. We're going to record a few different videos on these missing links that we don't have, and make sure that we've got those added into the training platform for the team. Likewise, role playing is going to be a huge component. So when going through kind of these onboarding sessions, these training sessions, these conversations with the team, it's reminding us that next week is going to be really important that we sit down and actually do some role play. Now, sometimes it'll be the entire process. Sometimes it'll be just chunks of it as we go through. But that ability to sit down and really go through it in almost real time is going to be critical for moving everything forward. So that's going to be a big focus in the next week, recording as much of that as possible, getting the transcripts of it, and putting that as a package within our training material as well. I think each of these pieces, the more you can document it, the more you can then transfer that knowledge to any team member as they come in, and it allows for the team to grow a little bit faster. So onboarding of new team members so we can continue on this path. That's been a big focus. Reflecting back on the speaking engagement. So this is one of the things that I've really enjoyed over the last year, maybe a little under a year to a year or something like that, where I've had the opportunity to do a little bit more speaking and think about how do we present things in a different way. And it was so exciting to be able to get into the business leader series and share some knowledge and some information, different things like that, that the audience was able to conceptually understand, especially when we're talking math. There was a lot of math related things in the presentation on Tuesday. And being able to walk away and have people go, that's the first time that this has really connected with me. Or even though I don't own a business, this one piece that you said really resonated with me that I can actually use in my own career and different things like that. So if you're out there and you're looking at doing speaking engagements or ways that you're in front of other people, my best learning over the last year that I'll share with y'all is try to provide value first. Any sales and different things like that will come on the back of it as you build the credibility and the trust and everything else. But if you can lead with providing value and just aim for at least having one or two people in that group, that audience, walk away with something that's valuable to them, then you've done your job. So I continue to refine my presentations for that outcome, something that's tangible, that's a takeaway, that's the true how rather than the what, and something that they can use. And my feedback for that is people have to come back up unsolicited and say, I used this thing and it worked. That is the best reinforcer of knowing that I'm on the right path. So that is what I tend to try to do. Sounds like I got at least pretty close to the mark on Tuesday, which is always exciting. And it's also fun to get some of the feedback that maybe didn't hit quite as well. We can continue to reiterate the whole process and get better. Happiness is seeing progress, not being perfect. The other thing that I had going on this week that I want to talk a little bit about is really giving back in the community. So I've had this privilege over the last year to be a part of the Round Rock Chamber. I am a part of their board. I get to the privilege of being a chair of one of their committees and running one of the programs. And one of the coolest things that I've noticed about this is, when I think of volunteering my time and different things like that, there's 100,000 different ways that you can go volunteer and give back to a community, an organization, something else like that. And sometimes it's, what are our talents and gifts? What are the skill sets that we have? What's the best way to deploy those in a way that positively impacts other people? Obviously, we do that in our careers and our business and things like that. But how can you package that? How can you take it? How can you bottle that up and give it away in a different way? So I have found that I really enjoy being able to give back into this knowledge of business understanding, of systems, of how to build things so that they work long term and ultimately can work without me one day. Something that I've always kind of done in every role that I've been a part of. But being able to bottle that up and take it into a committee or a council and help that start to operate in a way that's a little bit more efficient, that sets the next person who's going to run it up for success so that they don't have to worry about the structure of it and things like that, and they can work on the bigger picture type things. I try to bring that into anything that I can. I feel like it's a skill set that I have, so I try to bring it into these types of things. And there's a lot of rewarding feeling that comes with that when you get to use your specialized talents, your specialized gifts, and deploy it in different ways. So for me, that has been in the Round Rock community. It's been with the Round Rock Chamber. It's been, standing on stage, being the MC for the 1 Million Cups event. All things that I have found that I enjoy, that I'm good at, and it provides value to other people. And if you can kind of wrap all those things together, that is a really cool way to volunteer and be able to give back. So if you are out there and you're thinking, should I be doing these types of things, or I hear all the time that I should be volunteering my time, think about what is that kind of bucket for you? What does that look like to take your talents and your gifts and what you're good at, what you're comfortable with, what you love, what lights you up, that sort of thing, and to being able to find outlets to be able to deploy those skills and talents for other people. Lastly, for this week, I think, I said it earlier, but this concept of happiness is seeing progress. I feel fulfilled when I make progress today versus chasing perfection and getting everything done. I really think from this concept of building this business that's ultimately going to work without myself and with my parents in it, on this journey to retiring my parents the next 14 months, still about 13.8 months left. focusing on what are the small progress movements that we've seen this week. Every week there's something that's progressing forward, something that is a positive win, even if we don't feel like we've really pushed the ball super far in one direction during this given week. Outside of onboarding the new team member, for me this week it was chatting with some of our team members and watching their progress from the start of October through the end of October, and and seeing an improvement. There's a couple of folks on our team where they really were kind of early on. They were starting to get some things running for them towards the end of September, beginning of October, but hadn't really hit stride yet. We're able to kind of come in and talk through how do we get a little bit better? How do we refine the skills? What are the missing pieces that we can kind of connect in and make that work for them? And then once again, just seeing like a light bulb go off and all of a sudden the results just completely change. That little bit of a change and watching a team member kind of light up about the results that they're getting and the improvement that they're making. I think that really is, you think long term of building any business, but building a team specifically within the business, the more you can help your team members find those moments, connect those dots, and then they get to flourish and they get to succeed. One, it feels great as a leader outside looking in and helping them recognize like, hey, look what you've done. Look at the things that have accomplished because you took the time to go through this and you've worked on your skills, and I want to call that out. So that feels really good, but I know that that feels really good for them, and I have a strong belief that most people, if you're a team member, if you're an employee, something else like that, most people want to succeed. Most people want to do well. And if they can do well in their job and they know that they're doing well in their job and people are letting them know that, hey, you're really good at this. Keep doing these types of things. Congratulations, things like this. Like that builds the person up and it makes them it allows for this opportunity for team members to stay a part of your team because that is just such a positive culture. So that has been kind of the progress this week. It's been, looking at those types of things, seeing the little bits that are still moving things forward. In the next couple of weeks, I'm sure we'll get into a little bit more system building and different things like that. But that's what this week has been. So as I said, we're about 13.8 months or so left in this journey to retire my parents the next 14 months, or in that 14-month time period. We're getting as close as we possibly can. Little progress being made. We'll continue to share, provide as much of a behind the scenes look as I can. And if you like these things, or if there's things that you're watching this, you're going, Tanner, I'd love for you to show this, or I'd love to see these types of things, or show me what this looks like, drop them in the comments below, because that really helps me understand what else can I be showing, what else can I be pulling from our daily life, from being in the office, from being around team members that I can document, that I can share with you, that hopefully will give you the visual of what this can look like for you and your business as you continue to grow on your journey. So with that, as always, stay with me. It's incredible to have you as part of this journey as well. And let's continue to go build some pretty amazing businesses together. We'll see you in the next week.